going on, YouTube? It's MotorCityMan here, back with another video. I'm back with another one. It's been a struggle for me the past few years, man. Just being able to have a flow when I'm in the workplace. Because the thing about me, I like to conduct myself in a way where I operate within a routine inside and outside the workplace. And I try to follow a system. I try to establish some type of order to where it's a flow. I'm in a flow of productivity, responsibility, and I tend to operate differently than others in a more professional manner, and sometimes that can strike people the wrong way, as if I'm better than somebody, which I understand that I'm not. But my past job, there's been times where I feel like people had it out for me. It can sound selfish especially when I talk to my own family members about my situation in the workplace, and it could come off that way as me being self-centered, me being sounding selfish, or sounding like, because they would think that people not really out to get me as I would think. But when you somebody that's in the workplace, man, that's been in the workplace, that had multiple jobs, different industries, you start to pick up things from each job. You start to understand things from each job, and you understand that every job you had isn't the same. Co-workers, supervisors, managers, hiring managers, it's not the same as every job. And over the years, I've worked in a lot of places, and I understand that every job isn't the same. Every job doesn't operate within the same structure, within the same system. It was times where, I'm in the workplace, I'm doing my job, I'm performing the right way, because it's one thing to actually do the job, but it's another thing to do it actually the right way, efficiently, effortlessly, And I'm talking about this last job I had, this past job back home I had. And I worked at this job for 3 years, the longest I've worked at a job before. Worked at this job for 3 years straight. Had no problems, but over time, after like that first year went by, that's when I started to notice issues within the workplace that I never encountered or, faced before in my life, in my time of working at jobs, But it all conspired around people that was supposed to be supervisor and team leaders, in charge of lower position workers, which I'm referring to myself as one. But there were times where I had to train people on the job I worked at, but the thing about the job, they don't pay you more to train. They just have you train somebody, and that's what it is. That's, but it was times where I would train people and they wouldn't perform the job the right way, and it would come back on me, which I understand because I'm supposed to be training, but I'm not really supposed to be training, because when you sign up for the job, apply. They don't tell you you gotta train people on this and that. And then it was times where I was still new as an employee at the job, and they had me train people. And from where I'm standing, from my perception of the situation is, depending on who you are as a worker in there, if you a good worker, if you can keep up with the work, they gonna try to put more load on you. They gonna try to put you on, they gonna try to at least basically give you more responsibility than you already managing, because where you started off, the work already, it's a load. But then when they figure out that you're precise with the responsibility you have with the job you're on, and you're, doing good, they try to give you more work, and they try to have you train more people on that job. But it was times where I had to train a lot of folks, a lot of people, and we're all adults. It was more people older than me at that job than younger than me or of my age, and it was a lot of people I had to train that was older than me, that was, and growing up, being from where I'm from, a lot of people not really mature, Yeah, you can know how to talk, you can know what to say at the right time, but when it comes to what's in your mind, what's in your heart, your character, people not really mature. And it was times I had to train grown, older folks on jobs, and they didn't even want to do it. The first time they even came into my area where I was working, they didn't even want to be there. Their whole demeanor was off, energy was off, character wasn't good. And I'm not trying to judge anybody, but when I'm in a situation to where I gotta micromanage or train somebody that's just not of good character, it affects me, as a person and as an employee at whatever establishment I'm at. And that's where I'm getting at, because certain team leaders, certain supervisors, they try to put certain type of people with certain type of behavior onto the responsibility of other people that's has good character, that's upright, as a person, and they try to do what they can to pretty much tick off the person that's doing good at their job and don't have any complaints, don't have any problems with the people that's in charge of the team, or but it's been times where I've endured the problems I face, which is facing the backlash from training a bad person, having to take the blame, having to, receive warnings, or, whatever comes with not being able to effectively have whoever you train, and not to be able to effectively have them perform the job the right way. But in all actuality, it's their choice if they want to do the job, because you gotta want to do the job to actually do it the right way. And that's the thing with a lot of these team members, supervisors. They may understand that, but they don't necessarily really care. They just want the job to be done, but they not understanding that the person that's training the person, they obligated or not obligated to train the person. They can show the person the job, but it's up to them to do it the right way, to actually want to do it. And it's been a lot of times I had to train people on my job, and it backfired on me plenty of times. It got me to a point where I may have been out of character. At some point, I may have been, to a certain extent, I may have been out of character but never the case where I'm in a situation to get written up or fired, you know, terminated from a job, from my position. And it's been a lot of cases to where, man, I've learned a lot of jobs within my past job. I've learned a lot of different, you know, jobs within the company I was in, and I was doing well. I was doing pretty well for the 3 years I've been there, but during the duration of them 3 years, man, it was times where I would work in a certain area, and you know, coworkers who I needed to assist me in helping me officially do the job how I was supposed to do it, they would come in not really sober. They would come in one night. This one guy came in. He was pretty wasted, you know, pretty drunk, and whatever he was going through during that time, he kind of pretty much took it out on his job, took it out on me, and it pretty much backfired on both of us. But ultimately, it backfired on me because, again, he put me in a place to where my character wasn't right, but in a sense, I knew it had something to do with one of my team leaders, but being who I am, being able to be responsible, being able to have patience with people, it didn't take me up to the point where I'm using verbal, foul language at anybody or physical abuse, none of that. You know, I embraced the way that day, the way that night went, and then I just kept, you know, I just kept going. But it was times where, man, employees, they were just self-centered, who I had to work around, who just wasn't a good employee, you know, wasn't a good coworker, and it backfired on the team I was in. And sometimes throughout them days, it backfired on me as well, because I'm a person that care a lot about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, because the way you do one thing is how you do everything, you know. Part of me always understood that, but a part of me also moved in that way unconsciously, unknowingly. And that's what it means to be chosen by the Most High. That's what it means to be in alignment. That's what it means to be divinely in alignment with the Most High, because you can be doing something in the image of the Most High unconsciously without even knowing, you know. I want to apologize to the viewers, to my supporters watching this video about the background noise. I'm at the park, man. It's supposed to be as peaceful as it should be, but you know, it's, you know, dogs barking in the background. I want to apologize to that, about that. But furthermore into the video, man, it's been times where I just receive unnecessary jealousy and hate from coworkers who don't even really know me, just know my name. You know, it put me in a tough, vulnerable situation, because I'm not somebody that's out here judging nobody. I try to remain true to who I am. I try to remain upright, you know, and I try to have my character in check whatever I'm doing, wherever I'm at, you know, inside and outside of the workplace. So imagine being inside the workplace. Of course, I'm gonna make sure my character and my heart is in the right place, you know, when dealing with people. But, man, there's been times where I just had the feeling that people who I was around at work was just inspiring to try to get me fired and try to get me to quit or leave the job, man, because they were seeing me flourishing, with the work, keeping up with the work, because I was getting put on hard, tough jobs that people my age or younger wouldn't even stick around and work for. Not everybody, but it's only a select few that's gonna really put that work in the way I did at the job. And that's around my age though. So, and then older people that's probably about 5, 7, 10 years older than me, they probably wouldn't even do the work I've done. It's older folks that have done them type of jobs, but it's a lot of folks that wouldn't have done that work, man. Maybe for the money, because people be chasing after money so much these days, but when it comes to that job I had, man, being on 10 hours, it ain't easy, man. It's a tough job, I got a video, should be like right here, of when I actually went through enough within the job to where I had, made the decision to just leave, even my hometown earlier this year. Click that to really catch up on what I've been going through and why I made that decision earlier this year. Because I don't do nothing for no reason, I don't just make decisions emotionally, Maybe I've done that in the past, but I'm in a space mentally, to where, man, I'm just trying to make the best decision for me. Because sometimes changing your environment can better your life situation, Removing yourself from a negative environment is a better way to go forward, to move forward. It was times where, man, I had theories and thoughts that people that I actually appreciated within the workplace inspired to really get me fired or get me to quit my job, because I was at a pay rate to where I was making a decent amount of money, at the age I'm at. And older folks understood that, and to some degree, it could have, made them jealous, because I'm a person who don't really have outside problems as much, but I do, because, and what I mean by that, by not having outside problems, is like dealing with other people, like soul ties, having kids. I hate to say it like that, because someday I want to be in a relationship, a full, healthy relationship, in order to so that I can bring life into the world. But relationships don't always go in that direction where your relationship is healthy enough to work out and grow over time. People split up before or after they have kids, I just don't want to be in a situation to where I'm having to pay the court, for bringing life into the world, because a relationship didn't go as planned. And I understand people to a degree, because from just, having to deal with my own family dynamic, I understand people's character, and I understand how people can seem to be understanding at first or upright, but over time they start to lose sight of who they are and who they dealing with and why they dealing with, what I mean? But it's been situations in the workplace to where, man, I've been judged, discriminated, hated on, gossip about, and it led to, because this past job, People, they be having their own groups and stuff, their own cliques within the workplace and outside the workplace, of course. It's just life, but when people form these type of cliques and groups within the workplace, it creates friction between authentic people, authentic employees, and people that just there to make money and try to get to know everybody and be cool with everybody and sleep with everybody, if that's who they are. But that's not who I am. I'm an individual that conduct myself in an orderly fashion, you know, as a black man, as a young black man. You know, and I understand, like, how somebody within their workplace who know a lot of people, who connected, can influence others to perceive someone to be a certain way. You know, I understand that. I understand the mind games that these people play, but it's almost like a power play, you know. People within the workplace be playing chess with people they don't like or they don't want to understand or get to know. This is what I've been having to go through within these 3 years, you know. And I try to, you know, tuck my pride and go back to that job, you know, around springtime this year, but it backfired on me again, because the truth of it all is that, man, there's a lot of toxic people with bad character working in these jobs, these warehouse jobs, these factory jobs. So it's a lot of people with bad intentions that's not upright, that's not pure in the heart. Because for you to judge somebody and for you to get people to turn on somebody, that's not righteous at all. That's not just at all. That's what I'm bringing you. This is what I'm bringing you to you guys, sharing with you guys in this video, what I've been having to go through and endure through having my own conscience. You know what I mean? Being able to understand I am who I am, not who somebody perceived me out to be, because ultimately their perception of me is not my reality. But you in a situation to where you got co-workers, employees forming groups and cliques with team members and supervisors, ultimately it puts you in a tough state, because now people playing with my hours, playing with my pay, my money, my paychecks, and that's the ultimate move to get somebody to quit. You know what I mean, or leave a job. But sad to say, it led to a point later this year in June to where I was terminated, because I had a little dispute with a coworker who thought I was a pushover, who thought I was somebody that can be messed with within the workplace and they could get away with it. The moment I try to stand up for myself and not try to hold back and not try to turn the other cheek, this is when my doings get used against me. But that's the games they play. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to my testimony. You know what I mean? With me surviving the workplace and me just moving on from the 9-to-5 job to, you know what I mean, pursue my dreams on here on this platform. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. You know what I mean? Tuning in to what I have to say. MotorCityMan out, man. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.